Now it's my turn to
Second
ask you
question.
a question. Okay. Okay, I'll ask my second question, which kind of bases off the first question.
Yeah.
So similarly, okay, you're now with this cloud security company. You're quite adept now in, I don't know the technical terms.
Like software development?
Yeah, software development.
Yeah.
You probably know more about P2P than I do, a lot more. But you're also still composing on the side.
Yeah.
On the side, not during your job working hours, but also composing and writing books and creating your multiverse, which will then be a generator of creative projects. And when you initially left Graz, I remember you said, okay, I want to go back to Israel, work a while, and then eventually come back to Europe. And you have this like special plan of like the Portugal pipeline of getting a visa for Portugal and then eventually living in Europe. So my question is, where do you see yourself in 10 years? So speculative or also maybe ideal?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. I think a year ago, it would be easier for me to answer this. But since World War III is like so clearly looming in the background, it's really hard for me to answer this because I have no idea if there will be an Israel or a European Union in 10 years from now. But assuming nothing changes, I'm currently actually working on two citizenships. Like I'm working both on like a Portuguese citizenship and a German citizenship.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
Portuguese from my father's side and German from my mother's side. Yeah. Hopefully I'll get at least one of them. I mean, once I'll be a European citizen, the first thing I want to do in Europe is actually to buy land. Because one of the biggest problems... One of the biggest problems with Israel is that there's a company called Kakal, okay? And this company was actually created as part of like the colonialist Zionist project to like basically buy lands in Israel for the future Israeli Zionist state. And this was super successful, right? Because they bought so much land and they could establish a state, and this is great. And the problem is that they never dismantled Kakal. And in Israel, it's really hard to buy land, actually. And I believe that like one of the only things these days, like with this like global speculative economy, one of the only things that you could buy and actually has value over time is land. And since it's problematic to say the least to buy land in Israel, it would be nice to buy land in Europe. And I know there are so many all these government plans like that I have no idea if they'll exist 10 years from now for buying lands with reduced price if you're like building a farm on this land or something like that. So I mean, I have this fantasy of having this communal farm somewhere in Europe where people from all over the world can come and work in the farm and make art. And this farm is basically like a hub of art, but also of like a real community of people who grow their own food and share their ideas, and hopefully some of the good ideas of the group penetrate outwards to the greater society. So hopefully this is me 10 years from now, like managing like a communal farm somewhere in Europe. But on the other hand, like I see like the gradual death of Europe. Like the example I give all the time is that like Germany basically became like the puppet state of the United States. They severed their relationships with their greatest trading partner only because of like political reasons. So I do see a gradual decline of Europe over time, and I think World War III, which is very clearly coming now.
Oh my god!
I hope I'm wrong.
Oh my god!
But I'm usually not wrong about these things. So this will only accelerate the decline of Europe. So I have no idea. Like, I really have no idea. Like, I'm constantly researching the globe for countries I actually believe have a future. And actually, like, Israel, like, with everything that is happening now, I do believe there is a potential for a bright future. It depends on the people, not on the government. And currently the people are not waking up. But there is a potential for a bright future.
Okay. I mean, before we get too much into the geopolitics.
I don't know if we even have the time to get too much into that.
It's on my list.
Cool.
But I just wanted to say, this reminds me of when you first came to Graz. Remember, you told me you were staying at some like farm in the countryside where the owners were like super nice and they loved having travelers, but you were also like creating some artistic things together.
Yeah.
Like you made like a board game together or something like this.
And I even wrote a composition for their children's album.
Ah, that's right. Right. Okay. Where can we hear this, by the way?
I mean, I'm interested if it's still online. If it's not online, I'll just upload it and send it over.
Link in bio.
Yeah,
link in description.
bio.
Okay. Cool. I mean, sounds great. It reminds me also of like artist residencies.
Yes.
I mean, maybe that's more like the careerist kind of career consumer version of this.
Yeah.
But I think this is a nice plan if you can somehow manage to make it free, not commercial, not
exactly, like
ideological, but for creative purposes, for promoting certain types of being together.
Yeah, like I think my main goal is spreading knowledge, spreading ideas, and like creating like actual open spaces for discourse. Like not non-censored places for discourse, where you can also say like unpopular and uncomfortable things, right? Like, of course, for example, here, I also limit this, right? I say like, if there's something that is uncomfortable, like you can reject this question, but still, I do believe that like the more open we are, the more we have to gain out of this. Yeah.
I mean, just shortly to that point, I agree. I think that the media situation really makes it difficult to have public discourse without running into these absolute walls of being so careful, or like being through the channels of communication, or people being so ideologically charged through these channels of communication that it's so hard to like make meaningful discourse, because people are immediately like, bam, like categorizing what you're saying or just unwilling to hear what you're saying. But anyway, more on that later. To go back to the second part. Okay, so 10 years, maybe this farm community, artistic, creative idea, super cool. And then the geopolitics.
So is this a separate question, or is this part of the same question?
I want to answer this, but I'm wondering if I should take a pause to drink this deliciously smoky whiskey in front of me.
You haven't taken a sip?
I have not taken a sip yet.
Okay, you should take more than one sip.
Okay.
This is a great whiskey. I think I'm already like halfway down this glass.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay. I thought we were going to do like, okay, first question, now whiskey pause. We like clink and taste.
I mean, maybe this, since this is the pilot, maybe this should also be part of the format that we take a sip between questions.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So question over?
Yeah.
Let's take a sip.
Because otherwise it would be a segue into the geopolitic topic.
Okay. And you have separate questions about geopolitics.
I have several
Great.
questions.
Okay. Let's take a sip.
Okay. I have to take 2 sips actually, because this is the second question. I didn't take my first sip.
L'chaim.
L'chaim. Just like a deer hide that's been tanned in the sun for 10 years.